brand logo.
Today, I am once again complaining. That's not true. I'm not complaining. This is a video with a very positive topic. Something really cool is going on right now in Master Duel, and if you guys aren't aware, there's
He's forcing me to subscribe. It's just as bad. I guess. I don't feel... I don't know. Like, this might be semantics, BP, but, like, I don't feel like that's quite as bad. But when someone tells me to like the video before you've done anything, like... I don't know. I guess it's a little different because I could already be subscribed to your content, and which is white noise. But even if I'm subscribed to you and you tell me to like your video, like, no, you haven't. I don't give a fuck who you have not earned. You haven't earned my like. Even if I've been watching you for 20 years and I love you, you haven't earned my like. You like make the video good. If the video's good or if it entertains me, if it educates, like then I'll give you a like. But I just feel bad when people, or I feel a certain way when people in the first 10 seconds of the video just tell me to like it. I'm like, it actually makes me not want to like it. Because I don't know, it makes me like combative.
Like mini event, they call it a trial duel that is currently going on.
Okay, so we know
the way trial duels normally function on Master Duel is they basically give you some kind of limit or regulation on what you can build your deck around, and if you win 3 games in that limit or regulation, you win a singular pack. Now, I know what you're thinking. That's a little bit silly. That's like dog shit in terms of pricing. But, however, you see there's something really big that is going on in like conjunction with this trial event.
I want to see what he says about
basically,
this.
the current trial event that's happening on Master Duel right now, the regulation that they're setting on this trial duel is the fact that the ban list being used for it is not the current ban list from Master Duel. It's actually the current TCG ban list. The first thing, obviously, that we're going to be talking about is the fact that this event doesn't have the card Maxi.
Ahem. See what I'm talking about, chat? What leads the entire video? The boogeyman, Maxi. Like, this is what I'm saying. You guys have made this card. You don't even, you won't even call it. This card is now entered that which should not be named. Like, level. Like, you have made it your boogie. Okay. Like I said, then they better shut up. I'll say, chat, press 1 if shut up and play card games. Seriously, shut up and dribble. Like, you know, I'm going full on Laura Ingram. Shut up and play card games then. Because your boogeyman is going to get banned. So if this is what all the complaining content is about, like it's all about Max. All right, cool. Now Maxi's not banned. What you got to complain about now? It better not be Trickstar reincarnation draw. Like, come on, man. Seriously? Because they've made it their boogeyman, chat.
Hey, let's freaking go. That card is banned in the TCG. It's legal in the OCG and in Master Duel. It's the first real event that we have that has like a standardized format that doesn't allow Maxi. Most events either allow Maxi or when they don't allow Maxi, it's in an event where you can only play with lights and darks and Maxis and Earth. So that's the only reason why you couldn't play it, not because the Master Duel devs chose not to include it in a format. So this is actually really big because it's giving a lot of people the opportunity to taste what it's like to be playing some real Yu-Gi-Oh! Without Maxi involved.
Hey, yo! I mean, I shouldn't be offended by this, but like, is that not the implication that like the OCG just isn't real Yu-Gi-Oh? I mean, it's just like, is that the, yeah, that just completely discredits like the OCG, right? It's just like, oh, you guys just like aren't a real game. You know what I mean? I'm not like going to bat for the OCG, but like that's just how it comes off. It's like, wow, it just completely discredits like winning an OCG tournament. Like just doesn't mean anything, you know, or winning like okay, not like the little locals chat, but like the last like YCS they had in like Japan was like 3,000 people. Granted, it's best of one, so it's like a little scuff, but still, I don't know. I just feel like that's a little discrediting to like any OCG player. Like I would take offense to that.
Obviously, this is still best of one, so take that with a little bit of a grain of salt. It's not necessarily like we're playing TCG format over on Master Duel. And there's also the inclusion that there are certain cards that are uncraftable in Master Duel, such as Red Eyes Dark Dragoon. That card is not craftable in the game, so even though it's legal in the...
What? Well, that's dumb. So hold on. So it's like, it's TCG format, but if a card is already banned in the game, then like you still can't play it? Bro, press 1 if this is scuffed as fuck. Like, that's just stupid. So it's like, oh, it's TCG format, but like, it's also like not quite TCG format, because like, we still want some things banned. Like, this is like scuffed. Like, okay, why can't I just play? Like, okay, I understand. Oh, well, we didn't make it crafted. Okay, well, then just make it crafted. Make it craftable. Like, how long would that take the game developer? Like 2 minutes to just make it so that you can craft Dragoon? Or, I'm trying to think of another card, chat. I'm not like super duper familiar with Master Duel ban list of a card that's like, damn it, where's that? Toad, chat, would Toad qualify? Like, Totally Awesome is like a card that like, or can you craft Toad? Maybe it, when he says uncraftable, maybe it has to be a card that was like banned from the beginning. Just coded into the game for this short. Well, if it's supposed to be the standard BP, well then you need to do it. Do your job. Like, you know what I mean? So like, all right, let's find a card that's like legal in the TCG. Cause I'm looking at a card like Card of the Demise, but I'm wondering if like you could have already crafted that because people already had that card before it got banned. But does this mean, chat, that like this, like Divine Sword Phoenix Blade, like has this always been banned in Master Duel? Where it's like, oh, I just still can't play it even though we're on TCG ban list. You know, that card's not banned in the TCG. Or I'm trying to think of something older. Dragoon and Mine are literally not in the game. Instant Fusion's banned? No, there's no way Instant Fusion's banned. This shit is Instant Fusion. I mean, that's not gonna lie. It's actually kind of based. This card is kind of busted. Yeah, this card is kind of busted. Okay, so does that mean that like Instant Fusion is just not in the game then? So like even with the TCG rule, like you just can't craft Instant Fusion. Like, I don't know. That just strikes me as like dumb. Like, just put it in the game then. If it's a short event, then just take it out. I don't know. Just do your job. Sorry.
It's not legal for this trial duel. The other thing is there are cards that have released in the TCG already that are not yet in Master Duel. In terms of those cards, we're not actually playing the current TCG format on Master Duel. However, we are playing some semblance of real-life Yu-Gi-Oh! Imported onto Master Duel rather than what...
What is that? Huh. So, what would you guys call it? Like, old format then? Chat, is it like old format? Because like I get what coders. I'm thinking to myself like that's fine. I don't expect every single like I don't expect Phantom Nightmare cards in Master Duel because the set just came out today. You know what I mean? I think it legally comes out next week. So like that's fine. But then it's like, all right, well if you're not gonna release like that's the problem I have with digital, chat. It's like, all right, we're giving you all the cards, but not this card. Like then it's like, all right, now it's kind of stupid to me. They don't have Dune. It's a weird. Okay, so wait, they have everything up to Dune? Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. So why did they, bro? If they don't even have Dune, why did they like hammer Pearly into the ground so hard then? Like they don't even have the little black. They don't even have like the little Noir, and like Pearly has like 3 different hits. It's like that's crazy. They drove Pearly into the ground. It's like it don't even have the black cat, the little black cat.
Been calling like an imaginary ban list that exists exclusively for Master Duel. So obviously the biggest card that is being talked about right now is Max C, and the reason why Max C is a very important card to talk about here is because OCG players have never really had the opportunity to play without Max C being legal in a format, and a lot of people,
unless they played Yu-Gi-Oh before Storm of Ragnarok came out. Actually, that's not even true either. Maxi was a TCG exclusive, chat. I wonder how many people even realize that. Maxi was a TCG exclusive card. It was like it was made for the like unless I'm trolling chat, Maxi was just made for the TCG. And it came out in Storm of Ragnarok. So like any OCG player who played before that has played without Maxi. So there's that. We ruined the game. Wasn't Maxi banned in 2000? Yeah, but that's for the no. He's talking about OCG, Dolan. He's saying like OCG players have never played. That was Coder said OCG players have never played without Maxi. And it's like, well, it was a TCG exclusive card. So if you played the game before that, then you played without Maxi. So there's that.
That play in the TCG.
Wait, what's this? Kevin Stewart. Wait, is this real? Working on a crazy new anti-special summoning card. Our current version. Yo, this is the origin story of Maxi, chat. Hold on. Storm of Rat. I'm 95% sure, chat, that Maxi came out in Storm of Ragnarok. Let me just make sure. Actually, it should be down towards the bottom, right? Yeah, there we go. Okay, yeah. Because I'm thinking like the TCG exclusive cards are all like close to each other. Okay. Is that what the 80s are for, chat? Aren't the 80s for like TCG exclusives? And then the 90s are for like imports? Or do I have it backwards? Because here it is. 86 Maxi. The tweet was in 2009. Oh, wait, hold on. Yeah, but I'm trying to look at Storm of Ragnarok's release date. Yeah, that could work. I mean, was Twitter a thing in 2009, chat? Because, like, hypothetically, Kevin Stewart could have tweeted this out like a year and a half before. What he's saying is like, yo, we're theory crafting this insane card, and you know we're gonna release it like next year or something like that. So like, yeah, this could be right. I'm gonna say. Wow, so many people bookmarked this, chat. Almost 100 people have bookmarked. I'm saving this. This single-handedly changed Yu-Gi-Oh! Forever. Oh, I guess people just discovered it. I was going to use this for a video as a surprise. Oh, I'm sorry, Dark Emperor. I never knew about this. I mean, chat, I did tell you guys, I have told you guys before, like, Kevin Stewart and Dark Emperor knows this from, like, the Pojo stuff, chat. He's surprised, like, not now, but he was surprisingly candid about some of this stuff with Yu-Gi-Oh! Chat. Like, he was surprisingly candid as far as, like, oh, we're working on this card for this, or, you know, this is why this works. He used to post on Pojo all the time. He has, like, 5,000 posts on Pojo. Like, some of the things that you wouldn't really hear people talk about now. Now, granted, this was a different time, chat. You know, this is 15 years ago, essentially, or 14 and a half years ago. So you probably wouldn't hear these higher up people candidly talk about like, oh, we're making this card because of X, Y, and Z reasons. But like, yeah, this is just how things were back in like 5Ds and GXs. Like, even the bosses at Konami would just talk about shit. And he was like one of those people who would just talk about things candidly on Pojo. I'm surprised to see this on, what's it called? But that's crazy. Anyways, all right. I found that to be interesting, chat. I only bookmark corn. Okay. I'm pretty sure that tweet was about like Cactus Bouncer. So I know Cactus Bouncer stopped special summoning, right? But I don't know the set off the top of my head. Let's see. Absolute Power Force. I don't know. What are you guys thinking, chat? Wait, hold on. Let me look at Absolute Power Force to see if this was a TCG exclusive, because I don't know. Cactus, it was a secret rare. So it should be in the 80s. Okay, yeah, the 80s, Emmer's Blade. Let's see. Oh, okay, it was. Yeah, maybe it could be Cactus Bouncer. I think it's much more. I think it's much more fun to go with the idea of that it's Maxi though. Was it? Yeah, exactly. I like my version. I like my version better. My version. Okay, yeah, the 80s, because I know Nimble. Nimble was, what's it called, chat? Nimble was a TCG exclusive. A bunch of the X Sabers were as well. You wouldn't think that like but like Dark Soul. Shit. What's the other one, chat? The one Bogart Knight. Yeah. There's a bunch of X Sabers that were TCG exclusives. Hold on for a second. I want to see when Maxi came out in the OCG. It may have been 2013, like the next year. But yeah, I do like my version more. It's way more interesting. It's fun that they get C, but he likely is talking. Yeah, but my version is much more interesting. It's much more interesting. All right, sets. So Maxi came out. Oh, okay, yeah, well, all right, there you go, chat. Maxi came out about 7 months later in the OCG than it did in the TCG. Yeah, so we had 7.5 months ish of it being exclusive to us. So there you go. Anyone who played Yu-Gi-Oh before 2011 in the OCG has played without Maxi.
Regularly, we're basically.
Well, the trivia page says this, but gives no citation. Is this about? Oh, hold on. According to Kevin Tewart, this card was specifically designed to counter the legendary 6 Samurai archetype, which is the 5D's versions of Samurai, and to a lesser extent, X Sabers. Interesting. This is also very plausible, chat. Like, okay, so even though there's no like source, Dark Emperor, is it not plausible, chat, that people that like Konami R&D, like the TCG, would make cards to count? Because like we know why Nibiru and like Dark Ruler were made that year. We know that Jerome made them specifically to counter combo. You know what I mean? Like, so if you told me like, hey, now maybe they didn't think that Maxi would be good like forever, but it's plausible that they could be like, hey, this super heavy or this samurai shit's gonna be crazy. Because the first time I saw a legendary set or the 5D samurai chat, I was like, this shit's insane. Not so much X Saber, but yeah. So this is very plausible. I might have to whistle. It's probable. Yeah, I might have to do some digging there, chat. All right.
Saying that, Maxi will never be banned in Master Duel because OCG players actually like Maxi a lot. When I say OCG, I mean players in Japan, China, Korea, those territories, those players.
This is something, chat, I don't really ever talk about. Like, I don't speculate on how OCG players feel. I know that Nadir Farfa had that one video, chat, where he spoke to an OCG player, but I don't know. It's hard for me to think that like one player speaks for all the OCG. So like I just don't have enough information to say whether the OCG like hates Maxi or they love it. You know what I mean? I don't want to use that as like a source to say like OCG they don't like it or they do like it. So, you know, that's just my stance on that. Sample size of 1. I would not put up a site with no citation. And you're, what's it called? Oh, you mean make a statement? No, I don't do that, Zephyr. Like, have you guys not watched my history videos? Like, I do not make, chat, I do not cite sources that don't have sources. like I don't do that. Like, I don't make a statement or something and like essentially assert it as like a fact unless I have like a reputable source. That's why I said like I'll do some digging on Pojo. Because if I go through Kevin Tewart's post history and I find he said that, or I find something that leads me to believe that was the case, okay, well then it becomes more credible. But I'm not just going to trust Wikipedia, you know what I mean? Unless there's something that like can back it up. But I can do my own digging. Cap, read my last comment. I've been digging on Pocho for months. I can't find the original posts. Okay. I mean, it could look. It might not be true. I'm just saying. Like, it could be true. It might not be true. It's just possibility. That's all I'll say.
apparently like Maxi a lot, and because of that, you know, Master Duel is catering more towards them, which I don't agree with. It's just a take that I've seen a lot of people have online, and I wanted to address that because it's actually a really interesting development that came from this. A user by the name of Dove Rinslet over on Reddit actually translated an entire thread, or the majority of the posts from a thread, posted on bbs.nga.cn, which is a Chinese website that basically holds forums, on which this forum people were
I also want to point out that the OCG China has a different mindset. OCG ban list decisions are much heavily influenced by Japan. Results and feedback in China often feel unnoticed. RIP. The most recent example was Super Heavy Samurai Adams dominating China, but not Japan, so it wasn't hit in time.
Discussing whether or not they like or don't like Maxi after having played the new event that is currently live on Master Duel. So for the first time, we're really getting a little bit of an insight into the OCG players' mentality regarding Maxi, specifically after having played in a format where it's not legal, despite the fact that they've been playing either Paper Yu-Gi-Oh!, in which it's been legal for years now, or even Master Duel, in which it's been legal for the last 2 years. And the reason why this card is such a big topic is because the last time that they updated Master Duel, we actually got a statistic that 95% of players are playing
Ash, Maxi, Nib. Damn. It really does drop, chat. Like, I'm surprised even Imperm's not up there. Like, I often say, like, Ash Blossom is the most popular card in the TCG. And has been. I guess I can feel pretty confident in saying that can continually. Droll. Called by. I know this one's at 1. I'm surprised Called by is not 3. Droll, yeah. Droll's a pretty damn strong card. Droll's like the anti-Maxi, so like I can see Droll. I'm surprised that Imperm is like I'm surprised Imperm's lower than Nib. Yeah, I'm surprised Imperm's lower than Nib. And Baguska is even in this area. This card should be fucking banned, but never mind that.
Maxi in their deck.
Maxi and 3 of its counters are in the top. I mean, well, hold on. Don't get it twisted. If Maxi's banned, Ash isn't going anywhere, bro. It doesn't. I get that, like, Ash counters Maxi, but like Maxi or Ash is this bitch gonna be on here regardless of whether he like the TCG is just the TCG tells us that, you know what I mean? 4 if you count Droll. But yeah, like even if Maxi gets banned, like she's going to be the #1 card. Just look at the TCG.
I don't have to explain.
Even in these metas where people say, "Oh, Ash is bad," they still play her.
That's a little bit absurd, do I? So I'm going to go over a couple of the responses that this person got on the forum over on the Chinese website, and basically give you the rundown of how the OCG players that have been playing in this event feel about Maxi after having done so. One user says, the OCG meta revolves around Maxi. This is further amplified by Master Duel in Best of 1. I think it's not a good sign that 3 to 9 slots are mandatory because of Maxi. If your argument is, how can I go second without Maxi, then what is your game plan going second except for resolving Maxi? And this is a very important argument. One of the big things that we hate about
just have Maxi, forehead.
Maxi over on the TCG side of things is that Maxi...
Hold up! Oh my god. Bro, I hate when people do... Don't you dare try to speak for me, Distant Coder. I will not have this. We all hate Max. No. Say you. Don't say what we all hate. No, because we don't all hate Maxi. Don't put me in with you and MBT and SEMO. Don't.
Hate about Maxi over on the TCG side of things is that Maxi actually limits design space in terms of how you want to build your deck. More often than not, if you want to build a deck, you don't even look at what cards you're playing yet. You slap in 3 Maxi, 3 Ash, 2 Call by, 1 Crossout, and then boom, 9 of your like 40 to 60 cards are already decided just because Maxi is so powerful that you A, need to resolve your own Maxi, and B, need to prevent your opponent's Maxi from resolving. So this person's argument is very strong. What is your plan going second if you don't resolve Maxi? Realistically speaking, these 9 slots could probably go towards either playing more hand traps, or they could go towards playing board breaker cards. Dark Ruler No More, Evenly Matched are definitely cards that players would want to be playing, if not for the fact that they already had to fill 9 slots.
Does Droll not have the same issues nowadays? The only thing about Droll is, so I feel like even though searching is probably just as popular as special summoning Dolan, like the thing about Maxi is like Maxi gives you cards. Like it's pretty hard to, like if your opponent goes full throttle with Maxi and gives you like 10 cards, like it's pretty hard to lose. As opposed to like Droll, which like if you draw someone, you don't get more cards. Like they can still make a bunch of things that like they can still make Omni Negates and disruptions, and like they didn't get the full gas, but like you didn't get anything out of it. You know what I mean? It's the deck 1. It's more realistic to play around Droll. I just don't like Droll being a neg 1. Fuck that. Seriously. Droll should, press 1 if Droll should say draw a card when you use Droll. I don't know. Why Droll gotta be a neg 1? Because Maxi is like, dude, Maxi is never a neg 1. Like I actually don't even remember the last time that I played Maxi, chat. It's been that long since it was legal in the TCG. But like Maxi, if you get negged 1 playing Maxi, you clearly did something wrong. Maxi should like never be a neg 1 ever, unless you got gamut or something. Yeah, unless you got gamut. That's about it. Then play versus a 20 card hand. Okay.
Deck with the Maxi minigame. Another user says Maxi is insane. It trades 1 for 1 at worst. The worst feeling in Yu-Gi-Oh! Is when their Maxi resolves and yours doesn't, which is true. We've all had that happen to us where we've activated Maxi, our opponent had Ash Blossom, and we're like, oh, okay, that sucks. And then you activate your own Ash Blossom, and they called by the Graveview, so you've now traded 2 cards for 2 cards. You're starting with a hand of 3 cards, drawing to a 4th, trying to break your opponent's board. And then at that point, you go, okay, I'll activate like emergency teleport. Your opponent goes, Maxi, and even if you have Ash in hand, you can't activate it because it was negated by called by. Like at that point, it just sucks. Like it's just a bad feeling, and it just feels like the game was already determined by the Maxi minigame before even getting to play the game. Now, before I read this next comment, after having read all of the comments, and I'll leave the link to this thread in the comments below, but after having read all the comments here, I'm noticing that a big trend that a lot of people are talking about is specifically Maxi in relation to the ban list and how Maxi's existence impacts the ban list. A lot of players in the OCG actually like Maxi for one specific reason, and it's because they don't like the aggressive way that the TCG will ban cards. So for example, in the TCG, we'll oftentimes have these murder ban lists. We all know the ban list from After Toss format where they essentially murdered Salamangreat, murdered Orcust, murdered Thunder Dragon, like murdered Sky Striker. They just destroyed all of the best decks in the game in that one ban list, and OCG players really don't like that. Specifically, what OCG players like is the kind of ban list that Master Duel has been implementing a lot recently, which is just, you know, semi-frequent ban lists that just hurt decks a little bit. They put a card from 3 to 2, they, you know, lower a little bit of consistency, lower a bit of the power, but they don't outright kill anything, which in fairness, I think is a good argument. I think it's very fair that a lot of players like that whatever deck they've invested time in.
Well, okay. I'll say this, chat. Maybe you can argue that like Toss was too long or Duelist Alliance was too long, but like we have seen in the TCG when metas go quote unquote too long, we see what Konami does. Like people always look at like Toss format and they say, oh, they banned everything. Like they kind of did the same thing with Duelist Alliance, chat. They banned Towers, they banned Shurit, they banned Excites on Night, and it was some other ban, like one other ban, right? But they kind of did the same thing with Duelist Alliance. They had everything except like Tellarknights. You know what I mean? Fenrir banned, by the way. Tyr wasn't killed. Yeah, good point.
Is not at huge risk of just getting destroyed one day to the next. However, this commenter has a very good point in regards to that argument. He says, Maxi existing allows for an excuse/reason to print cards that should never be printed in the first place. The reason the TCG bans more aggressively than the OCG is because Maxi is allowing cards that shouldn't exist in the first place to be played in the game. And frankly, this argument is very, very true. In my opinion, there is one card that I think I have a large problem with myself that I don't think should be legal at all, and that card is Called by the Grave. In the TCG, we have Called by the Grave at 1. It's pretty...
I gotta be honest, chat. Anyone else starting to, like, kind of hate Called by the Grave again? Like, this is... I don't know. I feel like this is a little bit of a simmering point. This one I agree with Coder on. Like, if you look at Called by the Grave is insane right now. Called by the Grave is so good this format. Like, not just because of like all the graveyard use of the Snake Eyes and the Fire Kings, but like, bro, stopping a Droll, stopping an Ash, stopping a Shifter, pretty good. Well, maybe not Shifter, but you get my point. Call by shouldn't exist. It's kind of a spit in the face. This card should have been banned years ago. Yeah, I'm kind of back on the like Called by the Grave should be banned. I'm not a fan of this card, chat. Not a fan of this card. Might have to do a Yu-Gi-Oh cards that should have been banned ages ago on Called by the Grave, because it'll be like the first one on a non-floodgatey type card or a lingering effect type card. I'm on an island because I like Called by, but I know that's not the majority of it. Well, Called by it's cool, BP, when you use it on like a Garunix trying to summon itself from the graveyard. Like, that's cool. But when you use it on a hand trap, that's when it's like not cool. You know what I mean? Like, if Vanadium like has Called by when you droll them, it's like, well, have fucking fun. You know what I mean? You like droll the Vanadium player and like they stopped your one hand trap and they still ended on like 5 negates. Like, you're just toast. Like, you needed that droll to, what's it called? TTT is better than Called by. No, it's not. The reason why is because talents can, let's say that you droll someone, right? Like, you droll a deck that needs this search a lot. Like, talents is cool because you can like rip their hand, but you probably would just rather negate the card that they use to stop you. Just have Bell. That's true. They both should be banned. Actually, I agree with that. I agree with like ban talents and ban Called by the Grave. You know what I mean? Negate and get rid of it.
Not being played.
TTT can be a dead card. Called by usually never is. It's also true.
A whole lot. It gets played in certain like very heavy combo decks, but most of the top tier meta decks in a lot of formats either don't play it at all, or sometimes one player or two will play it if they choose that to be one of their deck cards. But it's not a card that is meant.
I think Talents is gonna go to 1 before it gets banned. I could see Talents getting limited. Thrust not so much, because Thrust going first, chat, like, it can be broken or it can be like kind of sussy / trash. Like, if you thrust in, like, let's say you get hand trap and vanquish someone you thrust, it's not broken. Like, you might set an imperm from your deck, you might set like Snow Devil from, like, that's not that good. But like, ripping someone's hand is always good. Or I guess I should have said this, like, talent in that case, chat, like, if you use thrust with like vanquish, so it's like, you pull Snow Devil from your deck, like, that's okay. As opposed to like, it can be busted where you pull the Fluunderee's Harpy's Featherstorm. But like, Talents is pretty much always good, no matter how. Like, it's not a peak or a valley like Thrust is. You know what I mean? Thrust can be like insane, it can be bad, but like Talents is always like consistently good.
To play in the singular copy in every single deck.
What's the difference between 1 and 3 talents? I mean, if you want to go with the I guess the logic of like, it's still gonna ruin a game when you resolve it, fair enough. Like you'll still have that argument. But it just won't be consistent. Like it won't be very consistent. Like you would probably have to play Thrust with it, Dolan. Like to like pull it from your deck. Like that would be it. Is that if you wanted to play Talent, like you probably just won't see it very often. So like that game that it ruins should ideally not happen very often. That's the difference. Is like if Talents ruins 5 out of 10 games now, then at 1 it should only ruin like 1 out of 10 games or 2 out of 10. And it's like, all right, well, only ruining 2 out of 10 is, you know, a lot less than 5 out of 10. That's the point.
Called by the Grave either just trades 1 for 1 with a hand trap and lets you full combo through whatever singular disruption your opponent had, or it can even be set as a trap card and negate any form of graveyard effect your opponent might have.
Yeah, that's just
that card
Ash.
is genuinely absurd. However,
Ash
in the OCG they have 2 of it. In Master Duel we have 2 of it, and I'll be honest, I don't think that card is very fair, and the only real reason why there's an argument to be made for why that card should be in the game is just because it stops Max C, and if you don't have a way to stop Max C, Max C is going to resolve every game, and whoever resolved it basically auto wins. A lot of players, specifically the ones in China here, seem to be in agreement that they feel like Max C isn't really good for the game. Now, obviously, this is not everyone. There's a lot of people that are arguing for Max
C is very good. It bridges the skill gap. Even a 5-year-old can win if C resolves. Damn, tell me how you really feel. You know what? I gotta give. Even though I didn't like that Coder said he put us all in the basket of why we hate Max C in the TC. I do like the research chat. This is how look. I know I'm just some random guy, right? Like you should look at me as just one viewer out of 57,000, right? I only account for 1 thumbs up, 1 view. But this is what impresses me, chat. What impresses me as a viewer like CapG personally is when you do this. When you go find an article, when you go translate, you see what other players around the world are talking about, and then you make your points based on that. You use this as essentially to build your person, like the argument that you might have. You back it with this. Like this is what I call, I hate to use the word journalism, chat, because like I'm not a journalist, I'm not qualified, but in the Yu-Gi-Oh sphere, like I guess I am. Like this is what's it called? Research. He had his sips due for. I mean, look, by Booker. I know it's by hook or by crook, but I like by book or by crook. I like that. That makes a lot more sense to me. You either do it by the book or you do it as a crook. But by hook or by crook, BP. Like this is what impresses me when I can pause the video and read this stuff and be like, oh, that's really interesting. Like, you know, it's more compelling than just Coder giving his opinions and me just being like, or him being like, trust me, bro. You know what I mean? Like this is the stuff that I like.
But I think that the large majority of the comments that people are getting from these players in the OCG is that they actually dislike Max C. So that initial argument a lot of people have that Master Duel will never ban Max C specifically because the OCG players like it is not true. It's simply not a real argument because they're...
Okay. See this chat, you guys remember like 10 minutes ago where I said like I don't like to speak on the whole issue of do players like or don't like Max C in the OCG, and that Farfa only gave like he gave a perspective of one person who basically was supposed to speak for the entire OCG. This, what Coder is doing, is infinitely more compelling to that point, where he's using multiple people, assuming this is all like real and stuff like that, whether he got this or his boys or his moderate, whatever, I don't care who got this, it's in this video. This is infinitely more compelling than just having one random guy in the OCG. I don't even care if he's a fucking world champion. One person speak for the OCG as opposed to all these people. However, it still begs the question though. What is Konami's incentive to ban it? Like, hold on, let me go back.
C. So that initial argument a lot of people have that Master Duel will never ban Max C specifically because the OCG...
Oh, I'm sorry. That's the point I was going to make. So he says that, like, well, Konami is never going to ban Max C because the OCG players like it. My question would just be, like, why now? Like, you guys ever seen Breaking Bad, chat? This is, I guess, a spoiler, but if you haven't watched Breaking Bad, you're probably not going to watch it now. You guys know after the whole... after they get rid of, I'll just say, Gustavo Fring, and it's Walter and Jesse, and Jesse kind of thinks like, oh, we're done making drugs now, and then Walt is like, what's changed? He's like, no, we're not. He's like, no, we're not, motherfucker. Let's go back to making drugs. That's what we do. Like, what's changed? Like, we killed one guy. Okay, let's go back to make. Like, to me, it's like, what's changed? Like, why now? Why would we ban Maxi now? You know what I mean? Like, if these don't seem like new opinions. These opinions have probably been there for a while. Like, what's changed? That's what I would ask coders. Like, what's changed? Because nothing changes if nothing changes, chat. So like, what's changed? Why now? I was the wheelchair guy. Okay. They blew him up. I love Breaking Bad. I love that show.
Players like it is not true. It's simply not a real argument because there are OCG players that are very, very clearly explaining that they don't like this card and they would like the card. It helps
balance with best of one.
Now, I myself enjoyed this format a lot. Like playing in this event on Master Duel, I actually had a lot of fun. It's so awesome to be able to play what feels like, you know, the closest equivalent we've ever had to a real format or a real life format in digital form without having to play on something like a simulator like YGO Pro or
EDO Pro or Dev Pro, where all the pros are dueling booker.
And they all suck. They all just suck. I don't want to play on any of them. I really don't. I want to play on Master Duel. Master Duel's so good. Master Duel is such a good platform. Just imagine if you had to practice for a YCS and instead of having to practice on Dueling Book or practice on YGO Pro, you could boot up Master Duel and play Master Duel Ranked and play the current format and practice for a YCS. Wouldn't
that would be good if it also wasn't like Master Duel? Cause like, okay, the problem with what he's saying, Chad, is like, all right, Cap G right now, chat. I decided, you know what? I'm going to Vegas. Vegas is next week, chat. You know what? I'm just no stream next week, chat. I'm going to Vegas. I want to play Master Duel. I want to test my deck, and the deck is available. I don't have the cards. Like you don't have the cards on Master Duel. So like you still have to get all the cards in Master Duel. Where on all the other platforms, it's like, oh, everything's free. You know what I mean? You want to play Voiceless Voice? Dude, they still haven't changed the name of that. They still call it Silent Forcer. Yeah. Like, if you want to build a voiceless, like, you just get the card. You just put them in your deck, and bam, just play them. But, like, that's still kind of the gate, the gate of Master Duel is, like, you don't have access to the cards. You have to, like, RNG open them from packs, so you have to craft them. So, I don't know. Free graded the Master Duel, Voiceless Voices. But, I don't know. That just felt like a major element that was just ignored, right?